He woke up in a silent town. The windows were broken, the streets empty. The air smelled of smoke and something rotten. The sky was gray. No birds. No cars. Only his footsteps echoed as he walked past abandoned stores and houses with open doors. He didn't remember arriving. Just that he ran for hours. His clothes were torn, his hands covered in dried blood. A newspaper lay in the gutter. The headline read, "Infection reaches capital." He didn't know how long it had been since then. He entered a small house. It looked untouched. Furniture in place. A cold cup of tea still sat on the kitchen table. He found a photo. A family of 3 smiling in front of that same house. Now, there was only silence and dust. Outside, he heard something move. Slow, dragging footsteps on gravel. Not one, but many. He closed the door and held his breath. He peeked through the curtain. Figures stood still in the yard. Their skin was gray. Their eyes empty. They stared directly at him. He remembered the rules: don't make noise. Don't attract them. Don't run unless you have somewhere safe to go. He moved upstairs, careful not to creak the floorboards. Every sound could bring them closer. He needed to find a better hiding place. In the bedroom, he found journals. They spoke of a cure. A failed one. The writer had locked themselves inside, hoping to outlive the infected. He climbed into the attic. From there, he could see the whole town. Smoke rose in the distance. No lights. No movement. Then he saw her. A single figure running. A girl, maybe 16, with a red jacket, sprinting through the street like her life depended on it. Behind her, they followed. Dozens of them. Limping, crawling, arms reaching. Their moans filled the air like a rising storm. He wanted to help. But if he made a sound, they would turn on him. He stayed still, watching helplessly from above. The girl ducked into a nearby shed. The creatures surrounded it. One by one, they started banging on the walls, their groans louder. He counted. 23 of them. Some were missing limbs. Others still wore uniforms. One had a broken jaw swinging from his face. He climbed back down, careful and quiet. He searched the kitchen for anything useful, cans of food, a knife, anything sharp. The noise outside grew louder. The infected became more aggressive, clawing at the wood, howling like animals without a soul. He spotted a trapdoor under a rug. It led to the basement. With effort, he pulled it open and climbed down into darkness. There were shelves of supplies. Water. Batteries. Blankets. Someone had prepared to survive, but where were they now? He found a radio. It was old but still worked. He turned the dial slowly, listening for anything static, a voice, a signal. A faint voice came through. If you hear this, you're not alone. Head north. The dead don't cross the river. The signal faded, but the words stayed in his head. He needed a map. A way to reach that river without drawing attention. He heard wood break. Upstairs. The infected had entered. Their heavy steps echoed like drums. He held his breath in the dark. He waited. Minutes passed. Then an hour. Water dripped slowly from the pipes. He didn't move. Not yet. Not now. Something thumped against the trapdoor. Not hard. Just once. Then again. Slow, deliberate. Like a reminder that they knew. He gripped the knife. His heart pounded. Would they open it? Did they know he was there? Or were they just testing? The sound stopped. Silence returned. But he knew it wouldn't last. He had to move before the night came. He opened the basement window. It was small, but he squeezed through. Outside, the air was cold. The street was empty again. He looked at the shed. It was destroyed. The girl was gone. No body, no blood. Only a scrap of red fabric near the trees. He picked it up. Still warm. She had escaped somehow. That gave him hope. If she could run, so could he. He walked toward the forest, away from the houses. Every tree felt like a wall, every shadow a potential threat. As the light faded, he found a hunting cabin. Locked. He broke the window, crawled inside, and finally let himself breathe. He blocked the cabin door with a chair and listened. No sound outside. Just wind and the distant cracking of tree branches. Inside was dark. He found a flashlight with weak batteries. It flickered but worked. He searched for food, water, anything left behind. There was a journal beside the bed. The last entry read, "They don't feel pain. But they remember warmth. Don't light a fire." He shivered and wrapped himself in a dusty blanket. The silence felt thick, like the woods were listening. Or waiting for something. Sleep came in short bursts. Each time he closed his eyes, he saw them. Faces twisted, mouths open, hands reaching through fog. At dawn, he left the cabin. The trees seemed darker now. He followed a broken path, hoping it would lead north to the river. He passed an old school bus, covered in vines. Inside were skeletons in school uniforms, still seated, heads turned toward the windows. He kept walking. Hours passed. He avoided cities. Smoke always meant trouble. Fires meant noise. Noise meant death. Then he saw it, a road sign pointing toward Black River. 10 miles. He finally had a direction. He started running. He heard moans behind him. Not close, but near enough. They never gave up. Once they sensed movement, they followed forever. A body lay in the grass ahead. Face down. He approached carefully. It was the girl in the red jacket. She was alive. Barely. A bite on her leg, wrapped in torn cloth. Her eyes opened, weak but focused. "You're real." He lifted her gently. She winced but said nothing. Together, they limped toward the trees. The moans behind them grew louder. They found a boat ramp. The river was wide and dark. A rowboat waited there, tied loosely to a rusted pole. He helped her in and grabbed the oars. As he pushed off, figures emerged from the trees, shrieking, stumbling, arms reaching. He rowed hard. His arms burned. Water splashed everywhere. One of them stepped into the river, then stopped, screaming, dissolving into the current. The rest stayed on shore. Moaning, pacing. They didn't cross. The river was real. It was the border between life and whatever they were. He reached the other side and collapsed on the wet grass. The girl breathed shallowly. Her skin was pale, her pulse slow. He knew what the bite meant. She had hours, maybe less. But he couldn't leave her. Not after all this. He carried her into an old barn. Inside, the light was soft. Hay on the ground. A place to rest, maybe for the last time. She looked at him. "Promise me, don't let me become one of them." He nodded slowly. His throat felt like stone. She fell asleep in his arms. He held her as the sky darkened. Her breathing slowed. He waited. The silence stretched. Then she stopped breathing. Her body went still. He laid her down gently and stepped back, gripping the knife tightly. Minutes passed. Then her hand twitched. Eyes opened, but they were wrong. Clouded. Empty. She sat up without blinking. He whispered her name. Nothing. She stood and turned toward him. Silent. Hungry. But not fully gone, not yet. He lowered the knife. "I won't," he said softly. "You're still in there. You fought too hard to be lost." She froze. Tilted her head. Then, for a moment, her lips moved. A whisper, "Run." He turned and ran. Through the fields. Through the dark. He didn't look back. He wouldn't forget. But he would survive. He found the road again. Ahead, lights glowed. A settlement. Real people. Guns, guards, fire, life. He had made it. Almost. A voice called from the gate. Name? He hesitated. No name. Just looking for tomorrow. The guard nodded and let him inside. Behind him, the night howled. But he kept walking. Because hope didn't die, it ran, it fought, and sometimes, it made it across the river.